I'm Judea Murray, and here on a positive note, we highlight the most heartwarming stories from all around our tri-state that move and inspire us. And I believe it was the late and great Whitney Houston who said she believed the children were the future, right? Well, I'd say we're in pretty great hands. These kids from Bronx Lab School say they want change, and they're going straight to the source to make it happen.
It doesn't matter how young you are, we can make a change.
Ninth graders at Bronx Lab School believe the kids are the future.
This generation, we see what's going on, we know what's going on.
That's why they're writing letters to President Joe Biden in the hopes of joining his weekly conversation series, where the president speaks with an American about whatever issue they care about. And these students care about a lot.
I think President Biden should reduce the amount of firearms that are being sold.
Asian hates.
The police brutality.
In climate change.
The students are all enrolled in a civics class called Change the World.
They think of something in the world that they want to change. They research it. They think of all the different perspectives, and then they come up with an idea of how they will change the world.
The freshmen believe their generation will have a big impact on what the world will look like.
We know what we need and the change we need around us. In the future, we'll be holding the positions and stuff like that. So maybe we can bring more change.
And they feel inspired to get others around them to do the same.
There's a lot of stuff that I feel empowered to talk about, this police brutality. If I can, and I'm 14, they can too.
The class is sending its letters electronically to the president next week.
And I really wish that Biden would call us because they have so much to say. These are the people who are going to be running the world, changing the world.
These third graders in Connecticut are working on some pretty important legislation too. When the delegation from Fairfield visited Joan Robb's third grade class at Dwight Elementary School, they were met with pretty serious demands. These future voters wrote out plans explaining why Lollipops should be Connecticut's official candy. And it's not the first time that's been advocated for either.
Mrs. Robb told us that she had a class a couple years ago that tried to make Pez the Connecticut State Candy, but it died in committee because it was a brand. But then me and Jacqueline, we got computers and we started doing research and what was a good candy. And Jacqueline already knew. She was like, what about Lollipops?
This week was also Teachers Appreciation Week. We here at News 12 want to spread the love and thanks to all teachers like Ms. Dobbs for leading our children in excellence, especially in a year like this last one. You guys are the real MVPs. Now, that's how they all start out, right? Negotiating legislation for Lollipops, but then the next thing you know, they're rubbing elbows with the president. That's the kind of thing that this next program was designed to do, actually, helping boys and young men of color realize their full potential with presidential guidance. Today, we're learning about My Brother's Keeper.
I feel like, as people, that's our job to, motivate the younger generation.
Justin Espinel and Joshua Sanchez joined the My Brother's Keeper program 4 years ago to do just that. The initiative is to help boys and young men, particularly those of color, realize their full potential. The Brentwood High School seniors have now completed their MBK community projects. Justin reached out and spoke to many middle school students who have been struggling, especially during the pandemic.
They might not speak English, or they might not understand, they might not have the right devices to succeed in school. I was able to pick up on certain things. This way I could, we could all figure out why they're struggling.
Hi, I'm Joshua from My Brother's Keeper. In celebration of Mother's Day, I'm going to read How to Raise a Mom.
Joshua made a video for younger kids of him reading and showing them how to make projects for Mother's Day. He says MBK has really turned his life around.
School-wise, definitely, I wasn't focused and I had a lot of issues at home. And, going to MBK, having that constant, reminder, do better, do better, do better. It just, helped me out then.
Their advisor says watching these students grow both in and out of the classroom over the last 4 years has been extremely rewarding.
I will work hard and become a beacon for the next generation.
It's magical. You're growing the next levels of a community, and you're molding the future.
Many more were inducted into the program during a statewide symposium. 4 more Brentwood students were among them. The group also had a special guest to lead them off.
Thank you for working hard at school, even when it's on video. Thank you for helping out around the house and giving back to your communities.
It was President Obama who started the program back in 2014.
Don't worry, you're not seeing double. That's just the Marcano boys. And these triumphant twins could be well on their way to the major leagues.
Playing Division I baseball is an accomplishment for any athlete. Brothers on the same team, even rarer. But David and Julio Marcano take it a step farther. They're twins.
It's great. We just hit each other up and just go to the field, practice, and we're just out there all day. And we never get bored of each other, so we just always find something to do on the field.
Born in Venezuela but raised in Houston, the twins decided to come to NJIT because of its athletic and academic offerings. They're both studying mechanical engineering, and both are in the top of their class. But the dream is to hear their names called during this summer's MLB draft.
Ever since we were 4 years old, watching TV, watching the major leaguers play baseball, has always been a dream.
If the brothers don't get drafted, the plan is to play in the Cape Cod League this summer, then return to NJIT next year to get their master's degrees.
We're confident that if baseball doesn't work out, then we're definitely going to be in a good situation regardless.
For now, the Marcanos are focused on finishing out NJIT's regular season and graduating. They say doing it together is the best part.
Twins playing Division I baseball at the same school. We were fortunate enough to be in honors college as well, so being able to just share that experience together will prepare us for the rest of our life.
But that doesn't mean there isn't a slight sibling rivalry.
Who's the better baseball player, you or your brother?
My brother will say he's a better baseball player, but I think I'm the better baseball player. I got the speed, he's got the power, but I got the average.
Who's the better baseball player, you or your brother?
Oh, that's me, without a doubt.
For years, I've always tried to be like the perfect student.
Not an easy thing to do, but it all paid off. Mame Forson is now the first woman of color to get a full ride to Harvard University in Mount Vernon school district history.
Johns Hopkins, RPI, Bowdoin.
Turning down 6 other full scholarships in the process.
I opened Harvard dead last, and my brother and I just froze.
Her journey to that moment is far from usual. She grew up in Ghana, then moved to Chicago and the Bronx before landing in Mount Vernon at 10, learning to value the things you have, especially school, along the way.
I would stay up all night studying for tests and freaking out if I didn't get above a 90s.
Even if it meant walking 30 minutes every day to achieve it.
I felt like I needed perfect attendance because I was just that type of student.
Her father is her inspiration. A former teacher in their home country, he preached the importance of a good education.
In the end, you see that hard work pays off.
With Harvard on the horizon, she'll focus on medicine.
I think I'm ready.
Hoping to inspire more girls of color to succeed in a field desperate for diversity.
They can do it. If I could, they could.
I've always mapped out like places to go, whether it was like a little road trip or maybe just going out east. And it kind of turned into this opportunity for me to be like, hey, let me write up all these ideas that I have and find these little hidden spots and hidden gems and share them with everyone. I feel like right now people crave staying local, but they also really are craving supporting locals. Who would have thought you can go out east to stay in this cute little RV that was like Paris themed, and it's something that people wouldn't really, have thought to do or even knew that they had available.
Sometimes people get overwhelmed when they're trying to find things to do. You kind of make it so simple.
Instagram has really become all about connection. People are craving connections with other people, with other businesses, and wanting to share them. I've created a blog so that I can show people places to go, things to do. Hey, if you're looking to go out east or you're looking for a specific town, or maybe you're looking for an outdoor adventure, here's a place to check out.
I mean, Long Island's a great place. We should love it.
I know.
Hope you're hungry, because here comes the Bodega truck. Find out why this crowd favorite on wheels has the Bronx going wild as we celebrate Small Business Month. Let's see, you've got 6 different variations of the New York original that includes the regular schmegler, the hot chick, and the famous OG. The Bodega truck is brought to you by Jeremy Batista. He says he opened it 3 weeks ago, which to him is a miracle given the pandemic. All it takes is one whiff of his chopped cheese on the block and residents come running.
My hopes for this truck, I would like to turn 1 truck into 2 into 4, and in other states, probably LA, Florida. I would love to brand this truck out really well.
For more information on how you can track down the Bodega truck, check out the Numbers and Links tab on bronx.news12.com. And one of the biggest events known to New York is back, and you could say I'm proud to mention it. If you're on Long Island, the Pride celebration is back on and popping this year.
I'm so glad to be celebrating together again.
Long Island Pride this year, it's going to be in person at Eisenhower Park, and there will be live music on stage at the Harry Chapin Lakeside Theater on June 13th.
It's going to be the first event on Long Island that is bringing people back together again. And in fact, as far as we know, we are the only live Pride event in the New York region.
I'm thrilled to know that our community is going to be able to be together again.
The annual Pride Parade has been held in Long Beach in recent years, and last year's festival ended up being virtual.
It'll be so nice to connect with my community, get 500 people together for a big celebration of, sort of feeling like we're on the other side of the rainbow.
There are some things to know about this year's celebration. The event will be limited to 500 people. The area in front of the stage will be sectioned off. You must buy a ticket in advance, and the LGBT network is requiring all ticket holders to show proof that they have been vaccinated against COVID-19.
We made the decision that we wanted this to be in the best interest of everyone and where everyone could feel safe.
Our vaccination program is going gangbusters in Nassau County. We have, as we're talking, we have about 70% of our adults have had at least one dose of the vaccine. So we're getting there. And just happy to celebrate our LGBT community.
Is that not pretty exciting? Now, don't worry, as we all know, June is Pride Month, so you've still got a few weeks to pull together your looks for the celebration. All right, sit tight, because coming up next, this disease took a lot from her, but she won't let it steal her happiness. More on a woman creating beautiful art during an ugly time. We'll be back. Welcome back to On a Positive Note. I'm Judea Murray, and I'm back with even more good news. Her disease is crippling, but she won't let go of her passion. This Long Island woman musters all of her remaining strength to create her beautiful art.
Despite an ugly disease, beauty is created.
This is a mussel shell flower.
They are called sea flowers, beautiful, intricate, detailed works of art created by Babs Yandel using seashells. But for the 76-year-old, each flower represents a triumph, a celebration of life. That's because she suffers from a rare body-crippling disease called scleroderma that has left her hands curled and stiff.
If it weren't for the thumbs, forget it.
Amazingly, and what some call miraculous, Babs, a retired art teacher, somehow manages to use a set of tweezers and a glue gun to make her seashells blossom.
I like the feeling of being an artist again.
Babs' Huntington home is an explosion of her truly handcrafted sea flowers, an idea she came up with several years ago.
A little girl on the beach put sea glass around a shell and held it up to the light, and oh my God, it just hit a spark in me.
And that spark led Babs out of her darkest days to a place where hope now grows.
You really can't give up. Find something in your life that you love doing.
Here at the Tin Rooster in Northport, you can find Babs' sea flower creations throughout the store.
You see her hands and you see the work that she does, your mind is blown.
And although there is no cure for the disease, Babs believes she may have found it.
I'm glad that in my old age, I can have some happiness.
It's made with pure love from her.
In case you're interested, Yandel sells her sea flowers at several stores throughout Huntington. There's more information on longisland.news12.com. I thought counting sheep was something you did to go to sleep, but this Brooklynite was wide awake when he counted 8 lambs in his backyard. This all happened near Marine Park. Check out this photo of Mary's little lambs chilling in the city. Don't worry about these little guys though. The man who found them called the police, who brought them to the animal care centers of New York City. Now they're safe and sound at a sanctuary. And fun fact, the lambs got some new names. They're all named after desserts like vanilla bean, pistachio, rocky road, candy cane, coconut, tiramisu, cannoli, and pumpkin. Is that not adorable? These lambs on the lam weren't the only animals in the tri-state limelight this past week. A Connecticut farmer just cut a deal with a famous actor who wanted to buy a pet goat.
Hey everybody, good morning.
Tracy Longoria at Osakita Acres Farms in Manchester has her hands full.
We have an immense amount of animals.
This is Mr. Twist. He is a Surrey llama, my perfect little piglets. Baby goats, baby goats.
But it's the baby goats that seem to get all the attention.
We obviously do our baby goat socials. We do what's called goat gathering, which is everyone can come out and just hang out with the entire herd of goats.
Word has gotten around about these goats, and Longoria got a call from a big-time celebrity last year.
Apparently was looking for some goats for a surprise for his wedding anniversary.
Kevin Bacon and his wife Kira Sedgwick came back this year and adopted 2 baby goats this week at the farm.
They came out on Tuesday. They spent about an hour and a half here. They really kind of took their time and selected the 2 goats that they felt were best for their farm.
She says they were really down to earth and bringing the goats back to their farm in Sharon. Longoria says Bacon is a big ham for goats.
I believe every Monday he has a segment that's called Goat Songs, and he literally takes his acoustic guitar and sits out with his goats and plays music to them.
Longoria says the names of the goats are top secret, but she expects this power couple to be back.
I mean, you know, not everybody gets to sell their goats to celebrities.
And Longoria says her phone has been ringing off the hook ever since. I believe it. A woman in New Jersey has been receiving a fair share of love herself after a comedy inspired by her Cuban-American family hit a major streaming platform.
I thought moving was going to free me, but boy, was I wrong.
Jacqueline Peretta didn't have to look far for inspiration. Generation Porque, or Y in Spanish, is inspired by her own Cuban-American New Jersey family.
Of course, this is very specific to the Cuban-American experience, but it's so universal. Like, you know, chasing our dreams, becoming adults, coming of age, that's something we all have to go through, and we all have parents that have expectations for us.
Peretta plays the character Jackie, a struggling actress caught between striking out on her own
all this time spent chasing your dreams is time spent away from your family.
And the wishes of her more traditional parents, who are Cuban immigrants. If you look close, you'll even see that Peretta's hometown of Marlboro gets a shout out on the shirt she's wearing in one of the scenes. Generation Porque will stream beginning this weekend on HBO Latino and HBO Max.
I have no chill, none. I am so excited to share this story. I mean, I've been doing this for such a long time.
Peretta began writing the project 4 years ago, which has screened at film festivals before getting picked up by HBO.
You are the star, the title character, the writer, the producer. That's a lot of pressure.
It is, but honestly, I have such a strong vision for this, and I'm so passionate about it. I can't imagine not doing it, and also I'm the cheapest to pay. If I'm the star, I'm the cheapest.
The pilot episode is being streamed. Peretta is hoping that a series comes next.
Now, before we head out, I want to remind you all that it is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, and all month long, your local News 12 will be highlighting heartwarming stories about the community and its history, and I'm really excited about it. I assure you that you don't want to miss it.